There's money to be made here, man.
We could invent iPods, Prius,
Match.com, short ribs. We could combine Viagra with Twitter.
What?
Twitagra. Boom!
And kick some past.
You're breaking up with me? That's not how this happens. Do you know what happens to you when you get fat? I mean, like, fat.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hello everyone, it's Sam Cohen for it here, and this is going to be my review on Hot Tub Time Machine. Now, if you really think about it and settle down and think about it, you'll notice that this has got one of the best movie titles of the decade by far. Hot Tub Time Machine. Basically you're collaborating a hot tub and a time machine, and then you've got a Hot Tub Time Machine. I've said that like 10 times now. But yeah, anyway, this was a movie I was really looking forward to. I mean, Chevy Chase was in it. There was a lot of appearances of him in the trailers, and this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to go and see this movie. Now, I was quite bummed to find out that America were going to get this movie before us, because basically what we have to do over here in the United Kingdom, we have to wait until the States get their fair amount of due, and then we have to wait until they get it, and then we get it. And then, was it definitely worth the wait? Yes. Now, if you don't know the basic plot to Hot Tub Time Machine, it's pretty darn simple. Four friends, played by John Cusack, Clark Duke, Craig Robinson and Rob Corddry, so I wrote it down. Basically they go on a road trip. It's kind of like a male version of a wives' week, and basically they just go to this hotel in a place called, I think it's Kodiak, and basically they just settle down there for a whole weekend without any interruptions. But one night they come across this hot tub outside of their hotel suite, and they basically think, what the hell, we'll go in the hot tub, and basically things don't turn out as planned. They turn back to 1986. Yeah, so yeah, that's the basic plot to the movie, but all throughout the movie, basically what they do is they kind of, what can I say, they kind of try to figure a way how to get back to their normal time period, and basically that's what the movie's really revolved around. Now, I went crazy over the plot in a good way. It was a brilliant plot, I loved the plot. It was just such a simple, sorry about the camera there, just such a simple movie, and I could definitely see this working in other movies to come. Okay, I'm going to get down to things that I liked about the movie. The acting, I really enjoyed the acting. I thought all these actors came together because all of them are really funny characters, and they just made this movie so funny, and it was just so hysterical to watch these four guys transported back to the time in 1986. It was really funny, and I just really enjoyed it, and it was definitely worth another watch, and I'm definitely going to re-watch this. I think I may go to the cinema again to see it. Another thing I liked about the movie, the cinematography. They could not pick a better place than up in the hills where the snow is and how wonderful the scenery is. It was beautiful. Also liked the costumes to the movie, part of the cinematography. The costumes were really good. They really figured out the way that the 1980s really represented style back then, and I just thought it was really, really good. So it really represented that muchly really good. Another thing I liked about the movie, Chevy Chase, he was only in it for a few scenes, but I'll be getting onto that later. But yeah, he was only in for a few scenes, but when he was in the movie, he was absolutely hysterically funny. He was a really funny guy, definitely one to look out for. He's one of the best comedians in movies, and yeah, he was absolutely fantastic in this movie. Now let's get to the things that I didn't like about this movie. The main flaw to this movie was that Chevy Chase was not issued much into this movie. I just thought he was so underused in this movie, and if he was used more, this movie could have been funnier. It actually could have. If he was used a little more, if the director came up with a plot for him, it'd be much funnier. But despite that, I thought it was quite good. Another flaw about the movie, I just thought some of the scenes just kind of dragged on a little bit, but nothing too bad. But definitely one just to trim it a little bit. But yeah, it's nothing worth worrying about. You'll still enjoy this movie, so it's really predictable. Okay, let's talk about some of the individual actors. Now, the first one I want to point out is John Cusack. He was absolutely fantastic in this movie. The last movie which I seen him in was 2012. Another great performance, but definitely in this one he was hysterically funny. Great guy, really enthusiastic, and it was just a blast watching him on screen in this movie, and it was an absolute pleasure to watch him because I laughed so much whilst he was on the screen. Clark Duke, who played Jacob, the last role I seen him in was in Kick-Ass. Absolutely funny guy. In this movie, when I found out he was going to be in it, I thought he was going to be kind of left out because I didn't know pretty much what to expect because he's younger than all the other actors. But it turns out that he's the nephew to John Cusack's character Adam, and yeah, he was really fun in this movie. Great performance. Every time he was on the screen, laugh out loud. Craig Robinson, who played Nick Webster. Webber, sorry. Yeah, he was just such a funny guy. All these characters were really funny, so I'm going to use funny for all the actors in this movie. Yeah, really, I thought he was the absolute funniest, and in personal opinion anyway, and yeah, he was just so funny. I laughed so much while he was on screen. Rob Corddry. There was a scene throughout the movie, I think it was halfway through it, I won't tell you what it does, but it involves a bet, and when he loses the bet he has to do something. It was so funny. I laughed my pants off, my ass off, sorry, pants, where did I get that from? But yeah, I laughed my ass off watching that scene. It was an absolute pleasure to watch it, and it was just so funny. Chevy Chase, when he was on screen, he was actually really good. He played a repairman who basically tried to repair the hot tub so they can get back to the original time form, and yeah, his whole plot and commitment to this movie was absolutely 10 out of 10. Okay guys, I'm going to give Hot Tub Time Machine an 8 out of 10. Definitely one of the best movies of 2010. Definitely not as funny as The Hangover, but near enough, almost there, if you know what I mean. So I could pretty much guarantee this movie to every single one that wants to go and see this movie. You've heard a lot of mixed reviews, but definitely this one's going to add to the tally of the good reviews, so go and check it out. You'll have a blast. Go with a bunch of your friends. It'll be even more funny. Don't go with your parents. Really don't. So I'm going to go on for it here, signing out.